I'm coming to you from a very, very cold, very rainy day in the Cotswolds. It doesn't really feel like July here. We've all got lots of jumpers on. But ahead of the afternoon tea tomorrow for the Society of Authors, which I'm delighted to be doing. I'm going to be interviewed by the lovely Nydia Hetherington, and we're going to be talking all things writing books, coping with chronic health while writing books. It's very much an ADCI event, which is Authors with Disabilities and Chronic Illnesses, and we've timed it perfectly because, of course, it's Disability Pride Month this July. So before I freeze, because I've snuck away upstairs away from the chaos of the summer holidays, I'm going to do a short reading for you from Maybe Tomorrow, which is my latest novel, which is celebrating all things friendship, found family and community. So let's have a little bit. Gosh, feels like Jack and Ori, this. Anyway, here we go. I'm here, don't close. The door slammed back against the wall as a young woman burst in, dishevelled and out of breath. Her dark curly hair pinged out like a halo around her face, and her cheeks were flushed from running. Jamie stiffened for a second, caught off guard seeing her out of context. Ria shook her head and smiled benevolently. Stand down, Bonnie, we're still open. Catch your breath, love. Ah, sodding stitch. The girl, Bonnie, apparently, bent double, clutching at her side. How can I be so unfit when I'm on the go all day? That will be the booze and the fags, Miss Fuller, Harris said dryly with an affectionate smile as he emerged from behind the curtain, a small white bag of medication in his hand. Bonnie laughed, a breathless but incredibly rich sound that took Damie by surprise. After all, when was the last time she'd heard an adult laugh, properly laugh, without inhibition or guilt or politeness? She found herself smiling, warmed by the sound. You girls, Ria fussed, always rushing, always trying to fit too much in. Bonnie caught Jamie's eye with amused solidarity. After all, it was rarely a choice to be running around like headless chickens. She gave a small shiver, glancing out of the window at the grey mizzle that had now descended over Harnley High Street. I don't suppose you've bottled any sunshine back there, have you, Harris? Can you pop some in with my meds? I'm so sick of this never-ending grey. Bonnie turned and smiled at Jamie. Am I right? My body's just not designed to drop below 20 degrees. Bonnie let out a heartfelt sigh as she wrapped the layers of her eclectic and almost certainly vintage outfit tighter around herself. Her slender body now completely out of proportion with the proud statement of her hair. She sat down, flopping like a rag doll, into the chair beside Jamie. Seriously, wouldn't you give anything to be getting on a plane to somewhere warm and fabulous right now? Oh, go on, Jamie, show the girl your photos. Give her a boost and let us all live vicariously. Ria had always been obsessed with the brochures and window displays of the big trip, but never once had Jamie been able to tempt her onto a flight away from Harnley. It's not natural to be up in the air like that, Ria had always said, brooking no argument. If she couldn't get there, in Harris's Volvo estate, they weren't going. But still, she liked to look, to flick through the album of Jamie's greatest trips on her iPhone. It was indeed a semi-regular event. Oh, groaned Bonnie in appreciative longing as Jamie flicked open the album, landing on her favourite crystal clear lakeshore in the Rockies. And you actually went there? I mean, this is for real, your photo? Jamie nodded, a bit choked up by Bonnie's reaction. Back in another lifetime. She looked away as Bonnie flicked through the album, unable to deal with the slight claustrophobia that increasingly washed over her these days. Just knowing that her globe-trotting days were over, that her entire existence had taken place within just a few square miles these last few years, was enough to make her feel that incipient prickle of confinement. Do you two actually know each other? Ria said. Jamie, this is Bonnie. Bonnie, meet Jamie. Bonnie frowned for a minute. You know, you do look awfully familiar, actually. I work at Hamilton's, Jamie offered quickly. Bonnie snorted. Yeah, like I could afford to shop there. I get most of my food from the... She paused for a second as the penny dropped. Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, Jamie begged with her eyes a pleading look of desperation, and yes, a certain embarrassment at her own ridiculous need to still save face. From the Lidl, Bonnie finished, another soft smile of solidarity. And you know you can't resist the crazy stuff, Ria. I got me a cracking slow cooker for £10 from the Lidl the other week. That and some snowshoes, because you never know, right? There was a small flurry of paperwork and handing over of bags, and Jamie tried not to stare at the size of the carrier bags stuffed with prescriptions that Bonnie collected. It was none of her business, she told herself, even as she swallowed the thought that maybe Bonnie, too, might be in need of more help and support than she was actually getting. They stepped out into the drizzle, almost in tandem. Thank you, Jamie said quietly. Not a problem, truly, Bonnie said with feeling. I guess I'm past the stage where I care if people know I'm relying on the food bank. Desperate times and all that. I think I'm still a work in progress on that front, Jamie admitted. Yeah, well, looking at the life you used to have, I imagine it's more of an adjustment, Bonnie said magnanimously. Magnanimously, even. Was it every bit as wonderful as it looks in the mountains and lakes and stuff? Jamie nodded. Oh, God, Bonnie, it really was. It really, truly was. Well, then, at least you know what you're aiming for, right? Bonnie stopped suddenly. My plans were a bit more local. They stood outside the old churro kiosk, the faint smell of hot sugar and warm dough still noticeable on a dry day. Inside, a banner had been erected. Opening soon. Crap but cheap. Haircuts while you wait. Bonnie grinned. I've got 3 months free rent and rates from the council to give it a go as an entrepreneur. She picked up a lock of Jamie's sodden hair. Pop in one day and I'll give you a trim. That's a little taste of Maybe Tomorrow, which is my latest book, a story of community and found family and friendship and really solidarity, because frankly everything's easier when you're in it together.